Today, Black History Stories. And remind you, these are extreme Black History stories, not for kids. Today, I want to talk about roots. You know, growing up, this one, Black History Month, was Black History Month, and they always play the Root series. My family be glued to that TV, and I was a little kid, and it was so fascinating. I know where I come from. My people have struggled. That's the message I got from Roots. Man, our people came a long ways. Boy, why do we have to suffer so much? What the difference between them and us? Number color. So even as a kid, I find this color thing stupid. One of the stupidest things on the planet. And the angel told me the same thing. He said they couldn't understand it. God couldn't even understand it. And I said, well, why can't y'all help us? They say it ain't of heaven or the universe, son. It's of free will. And when God made free will, he made it so him or the angels couldn't interfere. The only way it may be prayers. Because prayers let the universe know, hey, I done had enough. I need some help. But he say anything that comes from free will is man-made, and man shall fix man problem. Because that's why God made free will. You got to choices all throughout life. And he say racism is a part of hate with all developed out of free will. But anyway, let's get the roots. Yeah, roots are fascinating to blacks. Even though we never talk about the show. I never had a conversation with a black person say, hey, did you see Roots last night? You know what I mean? But it was definitely fascinating. And it's going to be fascinating until the end of time. But only two blacks. Only two blacks. It's not even fascinating to Africans. I remember they the one who didn't get caught. But it should be fascinating to blacks all around the world. Puerto Rico, Brazil, Colombia. Everywhere there is a black race other than Africa, Roots should be fascinating. But let me say again, only two blacks. Now let me tell you why. When I talked with President Clinton, he kept telling me, man, your life story gonna replace Roots. Your life story gonna replace Roots. The experts say it's indelible. Man, we never saw nothing like that. We ain't never saw nothing like you, son. My God. Ain't no president never gonna top this discovery. Man. I don't even know how you survive. And I think I was about 27, or 26, and I'm like, man, what you talking about? My life story gonna play Roots. Said we interviewed 3,000 witnesses. Blah 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 blah. They say this. They say that. They say that when they think you dead, they go to in the lunchroom in the morning, you the first one sitting there eating breakfast. Like nothing never happened. I said, but I don't think I'm going to replace Ruth, Mr. President. He said Ruth is a deterrent to every race except the black race. He said Ruth should only be watched by blacks because it sends the wrong message to all the other races around the world. It tells the other races that black were uncivilized. Black was animals. You know, and I thought about it and I still didn't see it, right? So 10 years passed. 10 years passed. Then another 10 years passed. You know, I got married to an Asian woman, Vietnamese. We sitting in immigration. Obama was debating Trump. Obama was the lead for the Democrat. Obama was the lead for the Democrat. Trump was the lead for the Republican. And they showed it on all the TV screens inside immigration. And my wife said out loud, if Obama become president, the world gonna end. I'm like, all these black people here, you know, like over 500 black people. And I said, hey, what you mean? Me and her sitting right in front of that TV where everybody was looking at it, glued to it. She said, Davey, everybody know that black people are the stupidest people in the world, the dumbest, Davey. Honey, you know this. I said, I don't know a goddamn thing. I said, Obama is way smarter than Trump. What are you talking about? No, you judge your people's smartness by the amount of money they got. In my country, we sit on rich people's head. We lick their toes, honey. Whoever got the most money, it's the smartest, honey. I said, no, not in America. Not in America. I said, the people who own the company don't even know how the company functions. Most of the time, the managers don't even know how the company functions. I said, I done worked on several jobs where the general manager or the golf course superintendent didn't even know Roundup from weed kill. I mean, Roundup from insecticide. What are you talking about? She said, no, honey, you got it wrong. That's why Asian people, when they open business, they tell on that business. They don't let nobody run it. I said, no, not in America. I said, but man, you got your prerogative fucked up. Next thing I know, we surrounded by machine guns. And I don't know what they were called then. Yeah, they were called ICE then. They say, hey man, y'all need to separate. They say, y'all see these cameras everywhere? They can hear everything. But one thing for sure, y'all definitely married. So you see how everybody else holding hand and like they lovely. The immigration agent looking, and they know them fake. But they know y'all real. Because y'all ain't faking. And they told her. They say it good and bad in every race. One race not smarter than the other, one race not better than the other. Say, but you see all these black and Hispanic people in here? You better be careful. Because your mouth gonna get you hurt in this country. And she was sitting at that man. She was mad. Because remember, they got brainwashed that black America are the dumbest and the stupidest people on the planet. They got brainwashed. And I ain't even got to tell you who brainwashed them. Y'all know who brainwashed them. They brainwashing people all over the world. I done talked to Haitians. I done dated Haitians. And they were scared to death of me. Why you scared? Because they tell us in our country to stay away from black America. I say, why? Y'all kill whole family. Y'all crazy in the head. They told us to don't date black America. Whatever we do, to stay away from y'all. And I said, no, I ain't never heard. Because back then you ain't hear talk of no black person killing their whole family. You know, you said not, but I told her I ain't never heard talk of that. And one day she was at my house. She went to get something. And some guns dropped down. It was about 3 of them, 4 of them. And she said, you choose guns for me? I say, baby, in America, I ain't finna get rid of a gun. She say, you choose gun or you choose me? I say, you got to go. She say, you gay. You gay. You gay. Go ahead about your business, man. You get what I'm saying? So the word spread. But on the way home, the Asian woman, my wife, I know basically that marriage was over with. Because now I know what she think about me. And I done pull her family out of many jams. Just using brain work. And they be all astounded and amazed at how smart them is. Her family. But not her. And on the way home, she was trying to justify to me that blacks are the dumbest people on the planet. And I say, why? She said, Root, honey. Black people were uncivilized and the white people went in the jungle and made y'all civilized. They put y'all out of the jungle and y'all say, whoop, 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 whoop. I said, no, that's not true. We had our own language. We had our own villages and civilization. She said, no, honey, you need to look at rules. It tell the truth, honey. It's true. It's true. You don't listen to me, honey. Rules is true, honey. Y'all the dumbest on the planet. Everybody know this, honey, all around the world. That marriage was over with right there, right? But then on the job, when Obama was going against Nick Romney. Now, Nick Romney's campaign was deportation. He's going to get rid of all the Mexicans. That's what that man campaigned on. The Mexican on the job, the number said his name, Tio. He said, nigga president, the world gonna end. So the white Italian guy say, what do you mean by that, Tio? He said, everybody know that nigger is the dumbest people on the planet. And everybody got quiet. All the white people like, my boss, redneck dude, what we call redneck, he's smiling ear to ear. Even the Italian dude was smiling. So many other black dudes say, bruh, watch your mouth. He said, but everybody know black people dumb. I'm voting for Nick Romney. And the white dude say, you do know he gonna deport you and your family, right? He said, oh, I'm a citizen. But me no care about my family. They can deport them. I'm voting Nick Romney. So then the other Mexican say, who was my best friend, we call him Donkey. He said, come on, David. Everybody know black people are the dumbest people on the planet, David. Just look at Ruth. He say, and the Chinese woman said that too. They say black people should worship and serve white people for making them civilized. Because if it weren't for the white man, the black man would never be civilized. That's what Donkey said, my best friend. He said that's why a black person can go to college, David, like Obama. A white man don't have to go to college. And he's still marketing the black man, David. Can't you see, David, every time, every job you go on, they put the white man over you with no college education or experience? That's because they're naturally smarter. I said, well, is they smarter than y'all? No, man. They're no smarter than many people, the smartest people in the world. Right there, me and the black dude say, hey, man, boss, we finna go home, man, because this ain't worth going to prison for. Because they calling us the N-word and all kinds of stuff and saying we the dumbest on the planet. Even Obama, the dumbest, stupidest on the planet, he call it don't mean nothing. And I say, right now, the situation I'm in, every job I'm going on, they putting the white man over me, and I went to college. I said, man, I don't want to hear this shit. I'm finna go, man. He said, no, bud, don't go. And he just smiling, trying to hide it. And he looking at the white guy. Please stay, bud. I'm going to talk with him. I'm going to tell him about slavery and all that. And they say, Donkey, black people built their country. They were slaves. They were slave, Donkey. What slave bill? They were forced to work for free. Then that's what Donkey said. Oh, wow. That show you that black people are some dumb people. Why you going to work for free? Davey, Davey, don't work for free no more. Your people is so stupid. And I got the hell out of there. Because that was beyond these him. That was gunpowder shit. And the Italian dude, which is cool, he say, man, y'all go home, man. Y'all two black guys going on home, man, because, say, Jeff, you got some work to do, man. You need to talk. You need to take 2 hours out the day or 3 hours and sit down and talk to these Spanish guys because they're going to get hurt. Say, we take it to be funny, but black people don't take that to be funny. And my boss, we convert the next day, he's still smiling. Because the Mexican was saying what they want to hear. It was saying what they believe. Then that one I fully understood. Remember I talked to Clinton in 95, 2000, 2005, 2010. That was 15 years later. And I realized, oh my God, President Clinton was telling the truth. They all see us as a joke because of Roots. But Clinton did say Roots should only be watched in the privacy of your own home. Black people's only. It shouldn't be broadcast for the world to see because it sends a different message to other nationality. That black people was the lowest on the planet, lowest form of intelligence on the planet. And that's what it's saying. Now I'm finna end this, but I got a brother, and I call him Toxic. You know, he liked to argue about everything and everything. But I was telling him about Roots, what they said about Roots and about the Mexicans and my ex-wife. And my brother say, "Oh, that's the truth. We were protesting that when I was in high school." And he left high school, I think, in the 70s. And we were protesting that in high school. Got us looking like goddamn animals for the world to think we idiots. He said every time we used to come on, we all us used to protest and walk around with signs trying to make them stop showing it. And me and him never agreed. And I say, oh my God. Me and Toxic agreed. And it got under his skin because he went on for 30 minutes talking about how bad Roots made black people look to everybody else. And he said, longer they show it, that persona gonna stay among all the nationality. He said the quicker they quit showing that, the better. So everybody need to think about it. It need to be some new blood out there. It could be Ruby Bridges' story. You know, Roots is so great, we might need 5 different personalities and 5 different stories or 10 different stories to replace it. But all I know, Roots is true. The closest thing to the truth, because when I died during claim court, I was a couple of different places at one time. And I didn't know I was dead, but I thought